My mic is muted. Oh, I'm glad I didn't go through a whole cast with that. Alright, we're back. Sorry that took so freaking long. But we are ready to get into a brand new series. This is going to be a little bit of a twisty turn, though, because we haven't cast any of this group so far. This is the end of Group C. It's the finals, and it's a best of 3. And while Group E might be ready to go, TakeTV wants to hold it until Group C is concluded in full and entirety. So I figured rather than just simply waiting, we'll cast this best of 3 out and then hop into Group E right afterwards with Mana, Damaga, DeMuslim, and I think it was DNS. Either way, spawning here on the top left side of the map, playing for Invasion, it's going to be the blue Protoss NightEnD. And his teammate, but current enemy on the other side of the map, going to be the red Protoss Harstem. Now, to comment on this really quick, we've actually seen a lot of PvP out of Harstem, most of which had everything to do with our tournament we threw for Civil War, PvP only tournament. We got to see a lot about him, but also the meta for PvP has changed a lot since then, and I'll talk more on that in a moment. But I would also like to say NightEnD turned out to be quite the player this year. He came out really strong in the beta. Unfortunately, that strength kind of tapered off and kind of hit a bit of a glass ceiling, but more recently has been picking it up again. What was really cool was when I was talking to him and some of the Invasion guys at, I think it was like, I want to say DreamHack Austin. It turns out there was like an in-house tournament to decide who would go, and NightEnD won that, which is why he got flown out to Austin. So he certainly got the capability to beat his teammates. I don't know what those looked like and if he had to fight Harstem there or not, but again, Harstem and NightEnD both Protoss on Invasion, so I'm sure they're not shy to each other's strategies. I'm plenty sure they've discussed tactics and, of course, had a practice partner game here or there in the past. SC2 Bren brings up a great point in chat unrelated to the game. He says, just because Rifkin wears clothes when the camera's on doesn't necessarily mean he's not naked during the breaks. I literally don't wear pants when I'm casting. I sit here in my boxers and whatever nice clean shirt I can put on. I definitely don't go full-on naked, but let me tell you guys, there's no reason to wear pants if you don't need to wear pants. Now, different openings actually out of both. Pretty substantially different openings too. And what mod are we using? I just realized this is like GameHeart circa 2013. Yeah, they're using the wrong mod for this. That's kind of an awkward thing to do. I should have noticed from how blue the buildings were in the Cybercore being miscolored, but it also screws up a couple of in-game commands for the observers. And I'm a pretty terrible observer in the first place, so woohoo! This is going to be fun. I'll explain more later. It's not really super important right now, and it's not going to have a lot of relevance other than simply seeing what units are building for you guys and a couple of buttons for me. But we'll soldier on. Now, I talked about difference in openings. I was specifically referring to the units made. In fact, take this back to the 3-month mark, and you were seeing 2 Adepts versus 2 Adepts, and no exception, nothing else. If you did see 2 Stalkers, it's because somebody was being a wuss who plays super defensive. But usually the Adepts getting across the map and doing damage were far, far better and more worth it. Now, NightEnD actually snuck his probe around all kinds of weird spots. I'm not sure if he was just checking for proxies or if he was trying to really throw off Harstem with timing so that the probe could sneak in. Doesn't sneak in. It's actually pushed off by the Stalkers pretty easily, pretty handily. Now, that being said, nothing really scouted in the main, and NightEnD did not get to see this robo. However, Harstem also has very limited / no scouting going on, and the natural base being taken. Okay, that's kind of a given, but what comes out next? So Robo and Twilight Council. Harstem also has been a player who has regularly prioritized upgrades in a lot of these matchups, which to me says, by the way, that he puts a lot of emphasis on the disruptor play and a lot more on your gateway units, but every time we saw him play versus Neeb versus Showtime versus Drogo versus anybody Protoss, he was always the one who had his +1 first. Who, more importantly, had his +2 first. I'm pretty sure Rifkin is naked under his clothes. Oh, you got me. You got me good. Snow Python, unfortunately, is in a pants zone. He's at work. Oh, it feels bad, man. I don't know if you guys saw, I got that shirt in the mail the other day. I tweeted a picture of it. It's, my favorite color is no pants. Thumbs up. Meanwhile, wait, wrong screen? No, I've got the right screen. Don't troll me, chat. Just because I'm solo casting. You can, when I'm on hour 9 or 10 of this and feeling a little bit delirious, that's when you really get me. But if you try and tell me that I'm on the wrong scene or my mic's muted like 50 times before then I'm not going to believe you even when I go crazy. So if you're going to troll, there's some finesse to it. You know, you can't just do it for the sake of doing it. I mean, we all like the lulls, but don't get me wrong, you got to go for the big payoff. Plan ahead. It's kind of like StarCraft, I guess, in a weird, very strange, unrelated way. Anyways, Twilight Council finishes up. Blink starts up. Blink, man, oh man, this actually takes me back. Blink for so long was out of the matchup. If you went Blink, you were just wasting money in PvP. But nowadays, with disruptors being as prevalent as they are, Blink is more important than ever. Harstem does finish up that +1 up weapons upgrade. He'll probably be starting +2 here shortly. NightEnD also throwing down his own forge, but more importantly, all the gateways for both sides, 4 on each. And Harstem, he takes a leap of faith and goes for this third Nexus. I don't think it's super greedy out of him, and I don't think it's the wrong thing to do necessarily. You know, more economy, more power, but it is going to be where if NightEnD, okay, it wasn't going to match that. I mean, NightEnD was probably heading towards some sort of all-in himself, and that's what Harstem has to worry. But never mind, Nexus gets taken. Defensively speaking, these sentries are a lot less useful for their force fields and a lot more for their guardian shields. Not to mention the immortal damage should be enough to punch several holes through these stalkers. And while they are coming in with somewhat similar looking army values, Harstem's is of course much better through that +1. And +2 is it starts, so he's kind of critting that out as quick as he can. Blink not done yet for Harstem, but of course as we saw it on NightEnD, he blinked away, so he's kind of okay for the time being. Warp Prism Micro is going to be pretty key to any of these engagements as well, as this can add a second layer of blink, but also just save units straight up. Keep those immortals alive way longer than they should. It's like a really slow push though. Like, walk for your life, NightEnD. Oh. Alright, 2 immortals to 2 immortals, 10 stalkers to 6. There's a couple of adepts in here for NightEnD, which would be really nice to have to snipe off those sentries, but yeah, no one's taking the force field bait. No one wants to get caught out of position. It's a bit of a lame fight. This, by the way, I actually forgot about this. This is the one aspect of the really old WCS mod that it's not even WCS. Like, to be clear, this is pre-WCS. This is like Game Heart, like version 1.0. And it colors the force fields as you guys just saw, which is kind of nice to tell whose force fields belong to who. But anyways, I'm going to make sure that the mods, or the host knows not to do that again, because I hate this version. Feels bad, man. Feels really glowy and nice, though. I do remember when StarCraft was all neon and cool, and you just had like the Blood Dragon music in the background. You know what? We could probably do that. Hold up. Hold up. Because this is like a once-off match. I'm not sure if it'll actually make it to the VODs or not. So we're going to mute this. Blood Dragon OST. Let's have this in the background. This is going to be so much cooler. I don't know how loud that'll be, though. Hopefully it's not too loud. Yo, how much does that change the tone of the game, though? Holy dramatic, Batman. Anyways, while we let this really cool and awesome music play in the background, I just remembered, if Mr. Boris is still watching, I gotta play this some more, man. This game was a lot of fun. And thank you again for gifting it. So it looks like some adepts tried to do something in the top left while I wasn't looking because I'm a terrible observer, and that's just dandy because it didn't really cause too much damage. Phoenixes coming out of NightEnD are actually a really interesting choice for this. They can swoop in and pick up the disruptors, and we've actually seen quite a few instances of disruptors being beaten by Stargate play. As if you've got one Phoenix for every disruptor, you're just going to cancel every shot, and they're just dead weight and a lot of wasted minerals and gas, frankly. But still, that +2 leads into a +3 much sooner. For a small time, they will be on even upgrades. Harstem should be better off for it, though, when it comes into the real fight. God, these are so glowy and beautiful. I can't stop looking. Hallucinated Phoenix still just scouting around. Perfect time for the music to get intense. No, not gonna happen. By the way, for those who don't like this, I will tell you I'm not turning this off till the game's done, so good luck, have fun, deal with it. Meanwhile, top left overcharge catches that warp prism. It's not gonna go down. But I feel like I need to be talking more like this with this music playing. Rex Harstem coming in for the fight. Looking for an engagement. The Adepts looking to trade through this. Now they're going to cancel. There's no way they go on top of that army. That'd be suicide. The Disruptor count really crazy, by the way. 7 is an insane number to have to deal with. There are enough Phoenix to pick them up. But it's going to be a tough engagement for Harstem, I'd say, more so than NightEnD because of those Phoenix. Unit, I mean, both players are getting pretty close to maxing out here. NightEnD actually needs a couple more pylons. That's a bit awkward. Ooh, as the Nexus finishes up. I'm giving way too caught up in the music now. That's not good. So Harstem's been up a base for a while over NightEnD. And this music's definitely way too loud. One sec. But that sounds a little bit better. Harstem's been up a base over NightEnD, and again, it's the wrong mod, so I can't show you the economy graph, but hopefully you guys can just trust by seeing the numbers right before you. Like 1,000 extra minerals per minute. That's a whole extra round of warp-ins. That's a whole other 2 or 3 Tempests coming out, depending on things. Quick shout out to the Lich King while we stop by. What's up, Arthas? How you doing? But yeah, Adepts have tried to transfer through a couple of times, but with cannons in these bases, NightEnd's really taking nothing for it, and I like that too. We actually don't see an investment in static defense too often from Protoss and PvP, but nice revelation tags the army of NightEnD. There's gonna be some Tempests coming out too, and as these join the battle, that range is gonna be really nice to have. What's this Swiftman says? Rex Harstem seems to be like a hard-boiled, loose cannon cop who doesn't like to play by the rules. He's a ladies' man and a badass, and doesn't know how to take no for an answer. I can't, it's too goofy. NightEnD also going for Fleet Beacon behind this. I think it's going to be looking for Tempest, and this could be a very slow, very, very slow fight. This music gives me a Tron vibe. Yo, if you guys have never seen Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon, and you're thinking Tron, you got no idea. You gotta go watch some gameplay for that. But yeah, still producing lots of Tempests. I mean, Harstem's got a lot of really expensive high-tech units that I think are gonna make him a very... Again, like he's winning the race to the high-tech war, I guess is the best way to describe this. NightEnd's gonna be stuck with a lot of what is quote-unquote useless Stalkers and Adepts and Phoenix, when really it's gonna be about the Tempests and the Disruptors more than anything else. These Stalkers looking to bling on top of the Stargates, though. Uh-oh! He's going to focus these down, and Harstem's going to lose his production. That's really going to suck. As he races back to try and save it, he's simply not going to be there in time. And both Stargates go down. That's going to give NightEnD some time to catch up in this, actually. I was going to say he was remarkably behind trying to get this Fleet Beacon swap, and now he's going to get the Fleet Beacon too, so Harstem does rebuild his Fleet Beacon before it's too late. But man, oh man, like losing the Stargates, losing the Fleet Beacon, it sucks because he's now going to be really crippled for production. Ooh, boy. Rural asks in chat, are they all cast in the same game as TaKe's all the time or just now? So, TaKe's got an observer in every lobby, and what's nice is they can hop between games as necessary. I'm not sure if we'll be casting all of the same games or not, but we're casting this because we want to cast Group E following it. So hopefully that will add some clarity there. But as NightEnD trades out these units around the map, no, he's not getting the most cost-effective engagements, and he is actually losing more workers than Harstem is. But both of them, I think, are just trying to trade out some of that supply. Make room for the bigger units. Again, more Tempests, more Disruptors. You name it. Current count of Tempests versus Tempest 7 to 3. I'm actually wondering if we'll see a Mothership at some point. The Mothership has been making its way back into Korean PvP, but we still don't see it that often in foreign PvP. But there we go. Harstem decides to go for that Mothership. So, cloaking field, but also a bit of a reach. It's like the world's greatest point defense drone. Everything has to shoot it before it can shoot anything else. Nice cancel on this base. Harstem going to maintain a whole base lead over NightEnD. Again, it's the mineral count that's going to be awesome. And of course, Harstem's bank's already great as he's maxed out. NightEnD can take a couple of trades, but ultimately it'll be Harstem who can keep remaking his army, not necessarily NightEnD. I would say Harstem's still in a pretty good spot, but this game is so far from over. But NightEnd's got no way to really deal with this, and he knows that too. That's why he's holding back and trying to bank up his own mothership, get his own Tempest going. Disruptors almost catch the probes. The Stalker's going to blink over. Force Field's going to help catch them too, but at this point, just losing the base alone is bad enough. There's actually attack on the other side of the map. While this goes on, Phoenix is rushing on in. They're going to slaughter the probes. The Adepts don't get much done. It actually lifts up. The Stalker's warping in. I didn't know you could do that. I didn't know you could do that. Alright, there's no way NightEnD takes this fight in the middle of the map. He knows that too, so he's just trying to walk away and minimize losses. He might have to turn around and fight if he's not careful, though. Where's Harstem's mothership? Is she with this army? No, she's still protecting the probes. Just chilling. Just chilling. Another base gets shut down. Lots of hallucinated Stalkers coming into play to soak some of those Tempest hits. That'll be kind of cool to see. Alright, mothership from NightEnD revealed. Harstem now knows he can't really keep pushing in. As if he does maybe not have ample detection. If he had Revelation, that'd be different, but he doesn't, and he won't, and Disruptors are just blind firing, hoping to hit anything. But now Harstem has to waste all these shots on the mothership, and he doesn't have his own on this side of the map, so the Phoenix is dogfighting on top of the Tempest. Tempest trading out for Tempest. NightEnD taking a fantastic defensive engagement. One I certainly didn't think he had in him. But this is looking like it might just be what he needs to win the game. He's going to win the Tempest War. With all these Tempests left over, the question now becomes, can he deal with the Stalkers? If he can deal with the Stalkers, his air tech is superior, and by far. Harstem's got more army supply. He's got more money, though, and it's just a lot of things going well for Harstem, but NightEnD takes one hell of a defensive fight. Meanwhile, Adepts down here, just kind of shelling away, doing what they can. There's not really a lot to do. Killing a Nexus, though, I guess is a pretty fantastic feat. Shout out to Elisar for the Clan SS. 36 months. He says 3 years, baby. You guys rock with a heart. Dude, it's been 3 years? Holy frick. Elisar was definitely one of our first subs on the channel, and the whole Clan SS thing I've never forgotten. So thank you very much for sticking around as long as you have, dude. Now Harstem does have the advantage of a mothership, so some of that stealth may be in his favor. I'm not sure if it's detection over here or not. So the Stalkers get blanketed in that cloaking field. Mothership takes some hits for it, but not before most of the Tempests are going down. Harstem also, once again, reminding everybody, has a big supply lead in every way, but he has exhausted his bank trying to rebuild things at this point. So he's making a Templar Archives because he's got 2k gas and no minerals to speak of. He wants to warp in a lot of Templar and he wants to make a lot of Archons. But GG, well played. And that's going to be game number 1 for Harstem. You guys don't need to see my ugly mug. Let's hop in a game. Nailed it. Snow Python says, BaseTradeTV, have you thought about doing badges? I'm assuming you mean like the subscriber loyalty badges. So far, the only one I really have in mind is making the Part 2 badge, the 12-month badge. But other than that, I haven't really put too much thought into it. To be honest, I don't even like our original badge, the Golden GGs, but it's just like I made it forever ago, and it's just kind of been there. I'd have to hire somebody to help me with that, to be honest with you all. But and as we're getting into game number 2 in this finals of the group, spawning here on the top left side, we got the blue Protoss Invasion's NightEnD. And of course, his opponent at the bottom right going to be the red Protoss Harstem. But yeah, people are talking about subbing and all these other things in chat. 2 things to really talk about real quick. First off, Firefighting Freak says, do you get anything for subscribing, like replay packs or vids? The answer is yes. If you don't already know, BaseTradeTV gives away tons of replay packs when we're able to. Not all tournaments allow us to. Hey, there's that Twitch Prime sub. I don't even need to sell you on this. Thank you so much for that sub, but I'll still finish off the spiel in case anyone else is interested. We can't always share replays. For example, when we cast the Alima League, part of our deal with when we created it was players didn't want a lot of the replays shared, so we kind of came to this amicable agreement where very exclusive replay packs will be sent out over there. But Corsair Cups, Ting Opens, like the big stuff, we share our replays as much as we possibly can with you guys because we want you to enjoy the perks of subscribing to the channel. So, yeah. TLDR, you get replay packs. I don't know if I'll be able to share these ones out. I'll ask TaKe's. If they say no, then no, but it's their tournament. They created it. They have control over it. But for all the stuff we create and do, we have no problem sharing our replay packs out with. But there is like that good old-fashioned feel-good that you supported the creator. And the nice thing about the Twitch Prime thing, obviously, is free. It doesn't cost you anything. But hopefully you'll enjoy the benefits and maybe consider subscribing again next month. That's my goal, at least. Bring you back another time around. Anyways, TaKe's is covering some matches. People are asking if Group G's anywhere, and that's, I believe they were doing Daishi versus Strange last I checked. We'll be finishing up this for Group C and then hopping into Group E with Mana, Damaga, Muslim, and DNS. And Lexi Chan says, hey, Rifkin, there's a commercial during your introduction of NightEnD. There shouldn't have been. The commercial should have been ending, and if there was a commercial still playing as I was doing it, then that's because I mistimed it, and that's my bad. But I definitely did not hit a play commercial button as I was introducing NightEnD. Okay, so we do have those two adepts I had talked about in the previous game, by the way, coming across the map. They saw the stalkers, however, and are not too keen on engaging. Gentle wiggle around. They don't want to take too much damage because they want to live to deal damage. He actually might be better off canceling these and winning the fight in the middle of the map. Two stalkers giving chase, not quite, as he does decide to transfer on through. I can't pronounce this name, but I'm going to give it my best shot. Akigi, Asigi, Ace Guy, 1983. Thank you so much for the sub with the Twitch Prime sub. If you were born in 1983, you're older than me. Congratulations. Now these adepts have been thwarted off pretty well by the stalkers initially. They are going to finally get up here, and maybe an overcharge stops them. Yep. There we go. Harstem going to grab not really many worker kills for his trouble. Two still go down. Not the end of the world. Not great, but not the end of the world. Back at home for Emmy as he goes over that Twilight Council, and both players, but NightEnd's a little bit further behind for it, as he did invest in a few more stalkers than Harstem. Blink actually was a bit surprising, but again, it's become such a staple part of the matchup nowadays. It's not bad to have. I still have to get off that Sigma. I've cast hundreds of PvPs since Legacy of the Void came out, and I'm still, for whatever reason, of this like default mindset. I guess it's like 4 years of casting StarCraft, right? I'm like of this default mindset that Blink equals bad in PvP, but no, it's an actually really good thing to have nowadays. Although that is one of the things I like about the game. I know a lot of you guys like want to hear me talk about builds and like, did he put down an 11 gate versus a 13 gate and shit like that. But to me, the most interesting thing is to look at the choices made later like this, because it's just how far it's come and how different it is. And I get it, I'm not the most analytical guy out there, but I'm definitely, I definitely still love the game. And this is one of those aspects I really love, seeing how much it changes. I mean, we all know the meta shifts like once a week anyways, but you know, roll your eyes at that comment for a second, because strategy is just so unique. I don't know. I'll get into this later. I'm rambling. Because we do actually have a fight coming down, and NightEnD on the front line does not have Blink, but still going to get in here and try and be aggressive. Two Adepts manage to slip right on by, and they actually get to the mineral line while the Mothership Core is out of position, so this could cause some worker deaths. NightEnd's probably best off just shift queuing all the workers and not even bothering trying to fight the Adepts. So yeah, he'll get about 4, almost 5 for that. Not bad. It's more cost effective than Harstem's was. Harstem now behind about 5 workers. Listening to Phoenix as it comes to the main isn't going to say anything too crazy. If this was a time where he catches Harstem running 4 gateways, kind of like what he's doing, this Phoenix Scout's really huge. But Harstem already has some pretty decent production and a pretty good army right now, frankly. NightEnD does have that one Immortal, which is very, very scary, but as Harstem's matches up, he may decide to try and take a fight, or take the fight. Not sure if we'll prioritize warping in or just trying to get over here to do a little bit of extra micro, but this, ooh, the sentries get picked off right away by the Adepts. This cuts out force fields, but more importantly cuts out Guardian Shield. So his own force fields go down, he catches NightEnd's Immortal, and Harstem takes control of the game in what is like a very quick blink. Very nicely done, very aggressive. Wow, 780 says, when was Blink ever bad? It was actually really bad in PvP for a long time, and it was actually a waste of money considered by many if you even went for it. That's like a history lesson for another time, though. Comes up to the top of the ramp, force fields this off. NightEnd, of course, does have a Blink, and he transfers through with the Adept, so this isn't going to be quite the move Harstem was hoping it would be, but he takes such immediate control of the situation. He warps in more Stalkers. He's got 44 army supply to the 30 of NightEnd, and NightEnd's in for a bit of trouble. Harstem will see Warpin's coming off cooldown in a second, so he'll get some more rounds out, but not before the game's over. GG gets called, and Harstem will advance out of the group in second place. Very nicely done. Thank you to Capuchin, by the way, hitting us up with a Twitch Prime sub at the very end of that game. Super big love right at you, man. Or woman. Let's be honest, likely a man. Thank you very much for subscribing. I was looking at our YouTube analytics the other day, and we have, like, you know, it's not accurate, but it's like a guesstimation. We have a less than 3% female audience on YouTube. I'm going to assume it's the same for Twitch, but I will say, we've got some really good female people on our channel, specifically subs and mods, and I guess I should probably shout out properly like Triss and Gina and everybody, Haro and Danielle and others, but it's just always interesting to see how such a small percentage that is. Then I go hang out with some of my other streamer friends that I made at TwitchCon, and I go to their Discord, and it's like 12 of the 14 people in there are girls. I don't know how that works. I guess it's just StarCraft maybe. Anyways, we should be getting to the next group here, hopefully coming soon. To go back on my point about Blink though real quick, because Blink Stalkers were always good in the early game but fell off so badly in the late game, having Blink Stalkers at all almost felt like a waste. You saw a lot of Protest players, this is before Adepts existed, right? A lot more emphasis went into either the Stargate, which was really cool to watch, a lot of Stargate play, or the Archon side of things, or just really not Blink Stalkers is the point. So you really, if you go through VODs for the past, like between 2013 2015, you're not going to see a lot of PvPs that actually had Blink. There will be Blink in the odd game, but it's not going to be a huge component of it, nor will it be a determining factor in a lot of situations. Anyways, we're going to go to commercial break. Group E starts up here in a moment. I'm not sure who plays first, if it's Mana, Damaga, Muslim, or DNS, or what, but hopefully it's not going to be a ton of downtime. We'll see you guys soon.